Aries, hi. So this is going to be a reading for May 18th through the 24th. And I'll take a look into your recent past, your current energies, and your immediate future. And then I'll close it off with a couple of cards from the universe for you. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there is an extended. At the end of the video, you can check out the link for that in the description box below if you want. Let's see, Aries. The overall energy for the reading, the Wheel of Fortune. What do I get? A sense of changes, but fast changes from one thing to another. But let's see what's going on here. In the recent past, the Four of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Three of Swords. You're upset. You're upset because you're giving your heart in a place that returns pain. So it's like, you know what? Shit ain't worth it. So you turn out to be upset. Okay, I agree with you there. You should be upset. But then again, you should also stop giving. But maybe you did. I don't know. We'll see. In the current situation, the Seven of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the Five of Cups. Yeah, you're definitely turning your back to something that has to do with your stability, so something you've been building on for who knows how long, and it's a very, very pressing type of an energy here. So while you do that, and you probably made up your mind, okay, I'm putting this part behind me, it's not easy. In the immediate future, the King of Swords, the Ten of Cups, the Queen of Cups. There's happiness here. There's balance, there's happiness, there's you being super clear in your mind and just kind of looking at everything around you. And then I can see you seeing happiness and feeling love there. So super cool energies here, but let's clarify. Let me do the Wheel of Fortune. The Queen of Cups, the Hierophant, the Knight of Wands. Okay, things are going to shift here for you for the better. Things are going to turn back around here. Like right now, yeah, you're coming from a really pressing energy, but I see you kind of stepping into your heart and things are popping here in a good way. Okay, nice. Let me do the Four of Cups in the recent past. The Chariot, the Eight of Cups, the King of Wands. It just, like, you didn't plan for this or anything. It just happened. You give and you give and you give and you give. And at some point you realize, hey, what am I getting back here? Oh, that? Well, that doesn't match. So at some point you're going to feel depleted for giving so much in a place that, so there's going to be not a lot to give anymore. And you're going to find yourself in a place of, oh my God, I got nothing to give here. I'm done. Okay, so I see you kind of coming into that aha moment. You are upset, you are disappointed, that you didn't get back what you gave, but that's basically just your aha moment. For the Knight of Cups, you get the Judgment card, the Eight of Wands, the Ten of Cups. And you want to give in a place that will reciprocate that, right? You open up your heart to a place, you want the same in return. It's kind of human nature. Equal give and take. That's what makes it healthy, right? So not only do you figure out, okay, the place I'm given in is returning pain, not love. Not only do you figure that one out, but you also figure out the opposite of, hey, now I know where I want to give and what should come back in return. Okay? So that's basically your phase of aha moments. I don't see you necessarily doing anything about it, just kind of letting it all sink in. For the Three of Swords, you get the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, the Seven of Wands. And then, from a more realistic approach, you kind of come to the conclusion of, I need to move on. I need to leave something behind me. I need to move on, move forward. But then there's also a rejective part to it. So while you 100% agree and come to the conclusion of, I need to move on from this, there's part of you that doesn't let you get off so easy. It's not as easy as, oh, well, now I know, so here I go. Yeah, it's not going to happen that way. There's parts of you that say, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold your horses here. So, yeah. Let me do the Seven of Swords. For the Seven of Swords, in the current situation, you get the Four of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, the Hangman. Yeah, that would be the part in which you decided, okay, now I need to move on. That would be the part in which you're probably thinking, that's when I started this process. And it continues through to right now. The thing is, right now, not a lot is happening. Because while you started that process, everything feels like it's kind of at a standstill right now. Because there's a lot of healing at play for you. There's a lot of you opposite of that energy that kind of makes you go. There's a lot of you going inward. I'm not sure if it was intentional. Like, okay, hold on, I gotta go inward. I don't think it was. This one may have caught you by surprise, but here you are just kind of standing still with the healing aspect of that decision of moving forward here. For the King of Pentacles, in the current situation, you get the King of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Eight of Swords. And then it's kind of like a game for you, going from within to your mind. So it's kind of like, at times I see you fully immersed in what's happening internally for you. And then I see the mind taking charge and being like, no, we need to go. Like, I'm clear as daylight. I know exactly what needs to be done. Let's go. The minute you start that, this sprinting part of that, your mind starts to be overwhelmed. Because remember, there's a part of you that's not going to make it easy for you. It's right there. And that could be, I don't know, maybe you worked on something for who knows how long and there's history to it. But I put effort into this, but this, that, and the, there's so many aspects that could form that resistant part to all of this. But it's there. So as easy as you may think it is, because I see you in the mind, they're super clear about your decision. When it comes down to putting it into practice, that's when it gets complicated. And then there's also the part in which you're also feeling the emotions of the healing aspect of it all as you go. So yeah, that's a lot. For the Five of Cups, in the current situation, you get the Six of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the Lovers. You can't skip this part though. You're like, can we skip? Can we jump into the next chapter? Like, just like that? Just skip it. We're not even going to think about it. We'll just skip. Yeah, I'm not going to do the healing. It's fine. I'll skip and I'll find something. I'll find something to do, in the next chapter here. Yeah, but you're still going to show up in the same way. What do you think? You're a saint? You think you didn't have anything in here to contribute to this so that it can be brought back to you for healing? So yeah, you're going to go to the next whatever. And you're going to show up in the same way. We're going to have the same issue. And I'm going to find you on my table again a few years from now with the same issue. So this experience is here to teach you something. Did you get that? Or did you get it and now skip really fast to the next one? No. People, when they want to skip something that's being brought to them to work with, it's because it makes them feel uncomfortable. There's healing in there. Okay, let's say you skip. Do you want the same scenario for the next chapter? In which you show up in the same way? And then you skip to the next. And then you skip to the next. And then what? It's all gonna repeat itself in the same way. Different people, different circumstances. The energy is the same. So you might as well do the work now instead of skipping it. You can't skip it. I'll just skip it. Okay. Skip then. For the King of Swords in the immediate future, you get the Three of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Magician. Over here, you're just showing me a big gap of time, so that kind of indicates that some time is going to pass here after. I don't even know if you're skipping or not. That's the idea that you have here, but hopefully you're not doing it. But let's say you are. But then some time passes and I kind of see you trying to manifest something brand new. You know, that has to do with your conclusion to it all. Okay, you didn't want this because this didn't make you feel good. You wanted happiness. And that's what you're trying to manifest after some time. Hopefully in that time you didn't actually skip and you actually healed. But let's do the 10 of Cups. For the 10 of Cups in the immediate future, you get the Queen of Swords, the 10 of Wands, the Knight of Swords. There's something coming together here between you and other energies. I'm not sure if it's one in particular or more, but it carries a sense of happiness. It carries a sense of beautiful, you know, what you're looking for, what you're manifesting. But the way it's coming together, it's a little rough. It's a little bumpy for some reason. So it may not be, you may not enter this experience here that's opening up for you with, you know, what you think it's gonna happen, like seeing unicorns and then realizing, oh my god, that's it, you know. No, it might be quite rough, the beginning part of it, you know, as it enters this experience, as it opens up for you. So I don't know what that could mean, but it could mean a bunch of things. But okay, let me do the Queen of Cups. In the immediate future, you get the Queen of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Page of Swords. Okay. Again, I'm unsure if you skipped this experience altogether and jumped into the next chapter of your life, or if that's going to be up to you because it's happening in the current situation. You're the one that makes the decisions right now. Or if you've actually started learning and healing from this experience. But what I do see is that even when you go into the next chapter, and even if things kind of start off a little rocky, they're a little bumpy, you carry with you an energy of self-love. That in itself is healing, so you probably learned at least that from here. So that's nice. That's encouraging, and that could be that you've actually given yourself time and space to heal from this rather than to just skip. Can't just skip. I just heard you in my head. Yeah, I can. Okay. Then I'll see you in a few years. Same scenario here. But let me see what the universe has as a final advice for you. The Empress, the Three of Cups, the Nine of Wands. What you've been connected to through this experience, at this point in time, you're very rejective of it. Like, I just don't want it. I don't want to be connected to that anymore. You know? Whether you associate that with the person at the other end of this, or this whole situation, this whole dynamic you've created together, I don't know. But something surrounding this experience, you got a big wall there saying, I just don't want that. Okay. And fair. You're allowed to not want something, you know? But like, when you say that or when you reject that, there's something that comes up for you. Like, what within you makes you reject that? What happened there? How did you contribute to that? Were you the perfect little angel that you thought you were? Because we all have that tendency to be like, no, it wasn't me, it was you. I'm perfect, you know? You got problems, you got issues. No. It takes two to tango in any kind of, so it's both energies contribute to the part that you right now reject. And that goes for everybody. And that calls for healing. That calls for, okay, how did you show up in here that maybe you need to look into? You know, what did this whole situation bring up for you in terms of the pain you inflicted on yourself by rejecting, you know, that whole concept of self-love, or putting yourself first or your needs first because they mattered more, or I don't know. You know, there's all sorts of things that any kind of experience, especially the ones we reject the most, they're going to be, or they have to, well, they carry the potential for being very healing for us. But like, if we skip it, then again, I'll see you in a few years with another situation, still the same energy. But that's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time. Bye.